Look, hit the like button, hit the sub button, hit the notification bell. You understand me? Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Join this Fisk Unit army and get Fisk Unit tough. What's good, everybody? Welcome to Blood Money week number 7. We in the building. As always, I'm the hardest voice of sports, the muscle of the Giants community, and I'm joined by Mr. 125,000K himself, the voice of the Lakers, and that voice that expresses all your anger for this sorry Giants team at the moment. My boy Baddog, what up?
What's going on, man? Yeah, not even frustrated anymore, man. It's more depression. I think the Seattle game was the pinnacle of anger for me, and pretty much since then, I've just kind of relegated myself to the fact that this team isn't what I thought it was going to be this year, and a lot of shit's going wrong, a lot of little things going wrong, a lot of injuries, just everything that went right for us last year. It's going the complete opposite this year, and it sucks. Glad we got a win today. There's definitely a couple winnable games in the next couple of weeks. We'll see what happens, but it's not so much of the Giants lost, those games. We played really, really good teams and played 4 out of 6 games on the road and in prime time. Brutal schedule. It's just that we really weren't competitive, and that is what was so disappointing to me. But we won today, so that's good, man. One at a time.
You know, it's crazy to think that at 2-5, like, what is it? October 22nd, right?
Yes.
It's crazy to think that we really thought we was going to beat Dallas week 1, right?
I thought we were.
I mean, we really thought that this 2-5 team was going to beat Dallas week 1. Like, we really thought that.
Yep.
And what's so disappointing about this year compared to other years is this was the year. You see, this was the year where I really thought that. I mean, I thought we had a good team. I thought Joe Shane did a good job. You know, he brings in Darren Waller. You draft Jalen Hyatt. You go and you steal my man from Seattle, not Seattle, from Arizona for a 7th pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, we cooking out here. We got Bobby Akurike out there. Kayvon take the next step. This Trey Hawkins kid fell from the sky to play corner for us. I'm like, okay, the stars are aligning. And then Baddog, I lie to you not. Ever since that freaking block field goal this season been in a damn tank. We was fine. We was moving the ball. We had Saquon established. We was doing our thing. Daniel Jones was running the ball. Everything was fine. And as soon as they blocked that kick, we have been trash ever since.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. The offense, the starting offense had one drive in the preseason. Bing, 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 right down the field. Darren Waller's getting involved. Paris Campbell's getting involved. Daniel Jones as well. I mean, it made it look so easy, and we're sitting here, at least me. I mean, I looked at a team that won a playoff game last year. People can say whatever they want. Oh, it was Minnesota. Man, Minnesota won 13 games, okay? We won a damn playoff game. We were one of the final 4 in the NFC. Not a lot of teams get to that point, and this was the first year of a transition. So you're thinking, with the players we had last year, throwing to Richie James and David Sills and Marcus Johnson and Lawrence Cager, you're thinking, my God, like you said, we go out, we get Darren Waller, we add Jalen Hyatt, you add John Michael Schmitz to help the offensive line. You know, you go out, you get Bobby Okereke, you get Boogie Basham, you get, Ashawn Robinson, you get Isaiah Simmons, you draft a couple of corners, and you're hyped up. We're sitting there going, we closed the gap on Dallas. We're ready to go. You wait months and months and months for that first game. And like you said, we're driving the ball down the field. We're doing our thing. And that block field goal for 6, it's just like everything collapsed. The Giants panicked in that game and kept throwing the ball and throwing the ball and throwing the ball. When you knew you couldn't protect Daniel Jones, and they still kept throwing the ball. They got away from the run way too early. You can't do that. They panicked. The coaching has been bad this year. The play calling has been bad this year. Everything that they did well last year, Fisk, they're doing wrong this year. It's insane.
So I'm glad you brought up the coaching. So I did a video earlier this week ripping Brian Dable because Baddog, we ain't, until today at least, we ain't scored an offensive touchdown in a month.
No.
All right. an offensive touchdown in a month. We're not talking 100-yard pick sixes in Miami. I'm talking we hadn't scored an actual touchdown since the 49er game way back in week 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Brian Daboll's an offensive-minded coach. We haven't scored an offensive touchdown in a month. We also haven't had the lead in the first quarter, I think, until the not the Dolphin game, until the Buffalo game.
Right.
He finally kicked the field goal instead of trying to do tush pushes. He finally kicked the field goal. We finally got a first half lead. And I'm just sitting back like, when Joe Judge was the head coach and something went wrong on special teams, we ripped Joe Judge. When Shermer and McAdoo were the head coaches and the offense didn't look right, we ripped them.
Mm-hmm.
We can't give Brian Daboll passes that we hadn't given the last head coaches because this is supposed to be his forte. Whenever Bieniemy or, has an issue with the offense, Andy Reid will call plays. Whenever Belichick's son ain't doing his damn job, Belichick will take the play call sheet and he'll call plays on defense until you get it right. I'm like, at what point does Daboll take over the offense from Kafka and say, I got to fix this? This is my job to get this right. At what point does he do that?
Yeah, I don't know. Supposedly he took control in the offensive meetings today. But you're right. Early in the year, I don't remember when I did a video on it, I said Brian Daboll's got a lot to answer for. Nobody on this team gets a pass. And being as active as I've been on Twitter, I see these Twitter wars. And this thing with Daniel Jones has gone on for years. This is nothing new. But I did a whole video on how the Giants failed Daniel Jones. And the funny thing is I could do a video the complete opposite way. But the way I look at it is this. Daniel Jones, my issue with him has always been the same thing, and I thought they fixed it last year. He was just he progressed. He goes through his progression slowly. He doesn't react really quick. And when you have an offensive line that can't block, that is a terrible comment. It sets him up to fail. Now, when you draft Daniel Jones, you know what his strengths and weaknesses are. So if you think that he's a first-read guy or he has a hard time going through progressions, you have got to do everything in your power to get a line that can protect the kid and give him 0.3 of a second more. I feel like that's all he needs. But because he has zero time and he doesn't go through, he's hesitant. And it happens when you're getting knocked around on a consistent basis. I don't see the same confident quarterback this year as I did last year. I saw a guy, people can talk about 8 through 15 touchdowns. They always want to discredit his 700 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns from last year. Like, for some reason, that doesn't count for him. It counts for every other quarterback. I saw a guy that took care of the ball, didn't panic, was confident in his throws. And then this year, I thought he'd be better. Like, I thought things would get better. And all of a sudden, like you said, the first play, it's just like everything that happened in Dallas just killed us. And I thought we got over it in the second half in Arizona. I'm like, look at what happened here. We figured it out. And then we go to San Francisco. And then Barkley gets hurt. That hurt everything. And Andrew Thomas gets hurt. And this hurts everything. And we can't stay healthy. And this offensive line continues to get hurt. And it continues to mix lineups. And there's no cohesiveness. And it's just a disaster. But this is, like I said, it's on the coaching staff to call the plays to Daniel Jones' strengths. That's what coaches are supposed to do. It's on the GM, and I'm not blaming Joe Shane. It's just a culmination of the organization not putting the right pieces around Daniel Jones to utilize his strengths. Because when you have a bad offensive line, it magnifies his weakness, in my opinion. So they've done everything they can to screw him up. That came right from the owner. And since Shane has been here, I don't think it's a lack of Shane trying. He drafts John Michael Schmitz. He drafts Evan Neal. It just ain't working. And now Daniel Jones has another neck injury. And God only knows. And there's a lot, there's a lot more to life outside of football. I don't want to see him get seriously hurt because they can't protect him. Neck injuries are nothing to mess around with. But this team just, I don't understand what's going on at Fisk. I mean, I'm going to say this too, right? I don't know what the deal is with Brian Daboll and Daniel Jones. I have a hard time understanding it. To me, I'm asking myself, especially after game 1, Fisk, this is when I had Brian Daboll. This is kind of when he went on my hot seat. Why is Daniel Jones out there when it's 40-0? Why you got every backup lineman and all the backup receivers and a backup running back, and you got your $160 million quarterback back there who you couldn't protect all night? Why is he in the game? What are you letting him get hit for? And then he did the same thing in Seattle, against Seattle. Why is he in there? Why is he vulnerable? Why are you making him take unnecessary hits? I don't like what they've done to him. I don't understand the play calling. I don't understand what the deal is with Dable and Jones. It's weird to me. Your thoughts on this?
Well, my thoughts is Brian Dable until today. This has been the worst coaching job I've ever seen in my life. I mean, bad dog. Think about this for a second, right? 40-0 versus Dallas, right?
Mm.
Then we're down 21-0 to a team that's literally about to get the first pick in the draft, right?
Right.
Then we followed it up by getting blown out by the 49ers, right? That was what, 24-point loss, I want to say, to the 49ers, right?
Yeah, 30-12, I think, whatever it was. We
Yeah,
got
like
killed,
18, 20 points, right? Then we have 10 days to prepare for Seattle. 10 days. And we're at home. We lose 24-21. Another double-digit loss, right?
Mm.
Then we go to Miami and get smoked. Absolutely smoked. If it wasn't for that pick six, it would have been way worse than what it really was.
Yep.
And then we finally go to Buffalo, right? And then everybody wants to blame Tyrod Taylor for the run play. Okay, that's cool. Why did you give him an option for a run? Why?
Right.
Why'd you give him the option? You gave him two plays. You said, here's the pass, here's the run. You gave him an option to run the ball. And I'm sorry, Brian Dable, you have access to Tyrod Taylor until 12 seconds on the play clock. So you mean to tell me between 40 seconds and 12 seconds, so you had 28 seconds to tell him exactly what to do, and it wasn't communicated to him what to do? And then to make matters worse, Brian Dable, you're emotional. So here's my thing, bad dog. This guy's emotional. He rips Daniel Jones versus Seattle. He emasculates Daniel Jones, makes him look bad. And then he curses out Tyrod Taylor going into the half after that run call. And I'm just like, wait a minute. You're supposed to be the leader of the team. You're supposed to keep your composure. You're over here flipping out, throwing tablets and ranting on the sideline instead of getting ready for what's next. And then they ask him on the sideline, what are your thoughts on the game? And he says, I'm sorry, my mind just isn't in it right now. I can't answer these questions. What?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the leader of the team? Like Brian Dable has been emotional, unprepared, and flat out horrible. I mean, we were more competitive under Joe Judge. We were more competitive under Shermer. He's been this bad with Daniel Jones. Joe Judge didn't really get bad until Danny got hurt. And I'm sitting back like, okay, we need to hold him accountable. Now, as far as what you said about Daniel Jones and Brian Dable's relationship, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's wrong with Brian Dable having Daniel Jones in the game like that. But then on the flip side, you can't say he doesn't believe in Daniel Jones because he's trying to run this spread Buffalo offense with Daniel Jones because he thinks Daniel Jones can make these throws. Now, bad dog, I've been on record. When your offensive line can't pass block, what does common sense tell you to do, bad dog?
Run the ball.
When you know your defense is suspect, what does common sense tell you to do on offense?
Run the ball.
To keep them off the field, right?
Correct. Yes.
Last year, when we won games, what did we do best last year?
We ran the ball. We ran the ball.
Why the hell did we get away from what was working? That's what I couldn't understand. I'm like, okay, so our quarterback is getting hit. If he's getting sacked 10 times, imagine how many times he's getting hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, wait a minute. So last year we won 9 games because we ran the ball. We had a lot of play action, and it was a conservative offense. That's what worked for us, right? Why are we now trying to spread the ball out and be Buffalo NFC, and it ain't working? You would think after a couple weeks, you know what? How about we run the ball? It doesn't matter. Obviously, I don't know how you feel about it, bad though, because we haven't spoken about this, but you obviously don't need Saquon to run the ball because you didn't pay him. So I don't want to hear Saquon Barkley is not available. That's why you're not running the ball. Well, if he was that important, you would have paid him, right?
Yep.
So there's no excuse for them not to have established some kind of run game, keep the defense off the field, keep Daniel Jones head on a swivel and do something. But no, when Daniel Jones is in the game, we go out there and we continue to throw the ball. And one last thing, bad dog, I was in Miami for the Dolphin game last week. Not 2 weeks ago. I went to the Dolphin game. Bad dog, I got to tell you. I felt horrible for ripping Daniel Jones when I saw that offensive line in person. Daniel Jones literally drops back. He looks to his left and he's running. By the time Daniel Jones looks at his first read, there's a hand reaching for him. There's a defensive lineman trying to sack him. He has to run. He had no time. The time that Tyrod Taylor's gotten the past 2 weeks, Daniel Jones did not get there when he was in the game. Not even close. This line is light years better than the line that was giving up 10 sacks to Dallas, 10 sacks to Seattle. A Seattle team that can't even rush a damn passer. So it's like, I don't know, bad dog. I can't answer the question between Brian Daboll and Daniel Jones, but I do know Brian Daboll, this has been literally the least competitive team I've ever seen on the Giants, ever.
Yeah, it's just strange because, like I said, I thought for sure this year, that they would get better offensively, and they haven't. I thought we'd take deeper shots down the field. I mean, we did it in Arizona, and taking deep shots opens everything else up. We've seen it. We saw it today. We saw it against Buffalo. You open it up. The whole reason you get Jalen Hyatt is because the man can fly. You get a couple of deep passes of Jalen Hyatt. Well, now you're not one-dimensional on offense anymore. So it kind of loosens the defense up, which allows Darren Waller to work underneath. Waller had his best game today. 7 catches, 98 yards, and a touchdown. It also allows Saquon Barkley to run the ball because the defense can't just play in a 10-yard box and say, okay, we know that they're going to throw the ball short. So I don't know what the hell is going on. Everything has just been wrong. Like, everything is wrong. And even today, Fisk, we dominated their ass. We kicked their ass. We kicked their ass all game. What happens? We fumble a damn punt. Actually, fumbled 2 punts, but we recovered one of them. Fumble a damn punt on the first punt of the third quarter. Let them get right back in the game. And then we're driving down to ice the game, either 17-7 or 21-7. And Saquon fumbles the ball on the 7-yard line. It's like, why do we do these things? It's like nothing is easy. The basics that we did last season, the basic things, the substitutions, the adjustments, the basic things, the getting on sides, the no taunting crap, no late hits, none of that stuff. We didn't do any of it last year. This year, it's crazy. We're burning timeouts, play clocks running down, substitutions, defense is confused, the offense is confused, the blocking scheme is confused. What the hell is going on? These inopportune turnovers. It's just like, we are not talented enough to overcome this stuff week in and week out. We could overcome it against a team like Washington because Commander fans didn't want to hear this weeks ago when I told them they're not very good. They're in our weight class. We're not very good. They beat 3 bad teams. They came back big against Denver. They beat Atlanta. They beat Arizona. They haven't beaten anybody really good. So they played Buffalo. They got their ass kicked. They played well against Philadelphia and lost, but I don't know, man. It's just been a weird season. I go back to something Brian Daboll said at the beginning of the year when, he said, they asked me, hey, this team looks pretty good, blah, 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 in practice and all that stuff. And Brian Daboll said, well, it's a different year. And, this team, every year there's adversity, and we'll see how these guys handle adversity. And the way he said it was weird. So I want your take on this because, I don't know, I had a lot of conspiracy theories on things of the Giants. Okay. The first one, well, this is one of the big ones. There was all this talk about in the offseason, Daniel Jones getting the contract and Saquon not. Okay. It was obviously the fan base, whatever, everybody has their opinion. The media was all over the place as well. How are you going to give this guy $160 million, your best player, Saquon Barkley? I thought to myself, I'm like, did that somehow cause rift in the locker room? Did people in the locker room decide to take sides or think to themselves, yeah, geez, how come Daniel Jones got all this money and Saquon didn't? And not just that they gave Daniel Jones money, they gave Andrew Thomas money, they gave Dexter Lawrence money, and they didn't send Saquon. Do you think there's anything to that? I know I'm crazy, but do you think there's anything to that, or you just think it is what it is?
Oh, no, there's nothing to that. Just off the simple fact that last year's Daniel Jones, he was the team. If you look at it, he had 7 game-winning drives, and then the guy who won that game in Minnesota, that was an elite quarterback. That guy, not the guy we've seen this season, Bad Dog, but last year's Daniel Jones, like the guy who went into a playoff game on the road and beat a 13-win Minnesota team with a practice squad wide receiver in Isaiah Hodgins, a practice squad wide receiver in Richie James, and a guy in Darius Slayton who was like 6th on the depth chart until Galladay, Tony, and Shepard and all that shit fell apart.
Yeah.
That guy was worth his money. I don't think anybody in the locker room had a problem with that guy getting his money, especially since Daniel Jones is on a discount. Now, what I mean by that, Bad Dog, is Daniel Jones basically got the Tannehill deal. He's on the Derek Carr deal because if you look, Daniel Jones at $40 million, right? What are all the other elite quarterbacks getting, Bad Dog? They're in the 50s.
Yeah.
So Daniel Jones is not on a bad contract. That's the going rate. It's a couple $1 million more than Derek Carr.
Yep.
So it's not like this whole notion that Daniel Jones is $40 million for Daniel Jones. Like, shut the fuck up. Especially you 49er fans who overpaid Jimmy G for 5 seasons. So I'm saying, Bad, like, you got all these people talk about Daniel Jones is overpaid and Daniel Jones is $40 million. Can y'all go tell me why Derek Carr is at 37? Answer that question. That dude can't throw the ball past 5 yards. And then it didn't make matters worse, Bad Dog. It's you got Justin Herbert making $55 million a year. Ain't he got the same record as Daniel Jones?
Yep.
What are we talking about? Now, my thing, I got a question to you. And one more thing before I answer you. Andrew Thomas got paid, right?
Yes.
Dexter Lawrence got paid, right?
Yes.
Darren Waller's the highest paid tight end in the NFL right now, right?
I don't know. I don't know what he gets. Kelsey's probably up there, I'd imagine.
Takes a discount. Kelsey plays on a discount. Darren Waller's the highest paid tight end in the league at like $17 million a year. So the Giants spend money, Bad Dog. You know why Saquon didn't get paid? Because Saquon was greedy. He wanted $15 million. We offered him that $14 million to Jonathan Taylor guy. We offered him that twice. He turned it down.
Yep.
And he came back, Bad Dog, and I clipped it and turned it into a short after he did it. He said, I only came back because I can't ask for $15 million if I don't play. I'm not going to get $15 million if I sit on my couch.
That's true.
So I'm like, it's not like we didn't try to sign Saquon. Saquon was offered a bag, and he turned it down because he wanted what he felt he was worth, not what the market dictated. So I think people in the locker room, they know what's up because they know Saquon and Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry. They want to do their little Zoom calls and start the running back coalition and shit. That has nothing to do with Daniel Jones, Andrew Thomas, Dexter Lawrence. That has nothing to do with Joe Shane. Running backs thought they was more important than what they are. And now Josh Jacobs and Saquon and Pollard, they're all playing for $10, $11 million. I don't think that had anything to do with the locker room. Now, my question to you, Bad Dog, is okay. So you know, normally I'm Daniel Jones' biggest fan. We've established that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, can we agree that Daniel Jones has turned sugar into shit for a majority of his career with the Giants?
Sugar into shit.
I mean, I'm sorry. He's turned water into wine for a majority.
I thought, yeah.
There we go. I messed that one up. So what I'm getting at, Bad Dog, is we can agree that Daniel Jones has never really had anything around him since he's been here.
Well, I told you, I made a video on that 2 weeks ago, how they ruined it. There is a video on my page says the Giants ruined Daniel Jones, and I meant every word of that. Every word of that video I meant.
Horribly. I agree with that, right? But so we're on the same page when we know Daniel Jones hasn't had much to work with in 4 years with the Giants, right?
Correct.
Now, can we also agree, besides the underperforming offensive line, this is the most he's had to work with since he got here. Darren Waller, Jalen Hyatt, Wandale looks great. Saquon, we can agree that this is the most weapons he's had since he's gotten here, right?
Yeah, definitely. Skill position wise, yes. Absolutely.
So when I turned on Daniel Jones, because I said, and Bad Dog, I made it abundantly clear. This is not me being 50-50. I made this abundantly clear, Bad Dog. I said, the reason we losing games, that's not Daniel Jones' fault. That's Brian Dable and lack of effort after tush pushes go wrong, block field goals, the team quits. That's not Daniel Jones' fault. Bad dog, I want your take on this. What's Daniel Jones' fault is not being competitive, getting blown out and embarrassed. That's his fault. Not being able to score offensive touchdowns and you making $40 million. That's his fault. Not being able to keep us even remotely competitive with average teams like Seattle. That's his fault. There's a difference between blaming Daniel Jones for the losing and blaming Jones for not being competitive. I've ripped Daniel Jones because we haven't been competitive and I haven't seen that dog in him that he had last year. I blame Brian Dable for the losing. What is your take on that?
I agree. I completely agree. The quarterback that listen, all off season, I went to bat for Daniel Jones. I went to bat for Daniel Jones big time. Listen, everybody knows me. I have had a contentious relationship with Daniel Jones since we drafted him. Everybody knows this. My draft reaction, 10 million people saw my draft reaction. Wasn't happy. About a week, maybe not a week later, maybe a month later, I came out with a bunch of videos. Daniel Jones is going to be better than Mitch Trubisky. Daniel Jones is going to be better than Sam Darnold. Daniel Jones is going to be better than Dwayne Haskins, God rest his soul. He was better than all those guys. And I said, I said Daniel Jones would be better than Dak Prescott. And in my opinion, Daniel Jones was better than Dak Prescott last year. But then, he started to fall off. 2021, I was done with him. He was terrible. How much of that was Joe Judge? How much of it was whatever? I was like, I give up. I'm like, he doesn't get it. His pocket awareness stinks. He can't figure it out. He progresses too slowly. I understand why they didn't pick up the 5th-year option. I don't think he's coming back. He's not Shane's guy. They're not committed to him. He's gone. Had no faith in him. No faith in him going into 2022. I'd say about the first 4 games when I saw a different guy. He threw the interception in Tennessee. He looked down Saquon to a bad pass. Dable ripped him. And I'm thinking, here we go. Same old Daniel Jones. They come back, they win that game. They come back, they win a game against Baltimore. They come back, they win a game against Green Bay. And I saw a quarterback that had confidence and that felt pressure and that had better pocket awareness, that took care of the ball. I said, oh my God, he got it. He finally got it. He finally got it between his ears because physically, I always thought Daniel Jones had the physical tools to succeed in this league. He's tall. He's accurate. He's got good arm strength. Is it, Justin Herbert arm strength? No. Is it Tua arm strength? He's got a better arm than Tua. It's always been in between the ears. Can he process quick enough? Can he get off his first read? Can he not be hesitant? Can he throw receivers open? Can he anticipate the throw? I saw a quarterback do that last year. I'm not seeing it this year. So all off season, I went to bat for Daniel Jones. He earned that contract. He deserves that contract. What else are we going to do? And this year, it's like he's regressed back to what he was under Joe Judge, where he's hesitant, where he's scared, where he doesn't want to make a mistake. He's not playing football fist. He's back there thinking too much. He's not reacting anymore. He reacted last year. He just played football last year. He did what his instincts told him to do. And I swear to God, this year he's back there and he's just thinking way too much. I can't do this. I can't do that. And it's as soon as you hesitate in the NFL, you're done. So, yeah, he's a big reason why I think, we haven't been competitive. But like you said, coaching is why we're losing because we're doing little things wrong. We're not executing. We're not blocking correctly. We're not substituting correctly. It's just weird stuff. Listen, man, I paid a lot of money to get Daniel. I paid a lot of money this offseason to get Daniel Jones gear, and I'm not selling any of that now, right? So I believed in Daniel Jones. And, I still believe it. I don't believe he's the guy here. I don't believe the Giants can do enough around him.
Oh, no. I bad dog. Oh, you want to get into that now?
What's that?
So, all right. So check this out, right? Now, look, I can't believe I'm saying this, but bad dog. I'm be 1,000% with you. He really might be better off in Atlanta or Tampa. He really might be. I feel like I'm getting Evan Ingram vibes, man. I feel like this is one of those situations where he just might not make it here.
Correct.
This might not be the place for him. Because Evan Ingram he goes to Jacksonville, and now all of a sudden Evan Ingram is like one of the 5 best tight ends in the league. I mean, The guy's like 7 catches, 60 yards a week, and I'm just like, when it comes to Daniel Jones, I'm just being honest with you. I'm his biggest fan. You know what? Forget that for a second. Let me ask you a question, Bad Dog. Because I want to ask you a question. Forget what I was about to say. Do you know what's wrong with his neck?
No, I have no idea. He said it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as it was. I just remember him saying he has pain in the left side of his neck and it goes into his arm, which tells me it sounds like a pinched nerve, but I'm not a neurologist or a doctor, so I have no idea. They don't tell us anything.
Bad Dog, that's my problem. If that we knew what was wrong with Peyton neck, we knew what was wrong with Andrew Luck. When something goes wrong with a quarterback that the people care about, they hold these organizations accountable, and we have to know. But because nobody gives a damn about Daniel Jones, the Giants are just allowed to not tell us what's wrong with the guy. We don't know what the hell is wrong with Daniel Jones' neck. That's the problem. So I'm sitting back like, how can we go forward with a quarterback that just had neck surgery a season ago? He had it last offseason going into the Brian Dable's first year. It really was that short ago. And they never told us what was wrong. Our starting quarterback missed the last 6 weeks of a season with a neck injury, and they didn't tell us what was wrong. He goes in to have surgery. They didn't tell us what was wrong. And now he hurts his neck again, Bad Dog, and they don't tell us what's wrong. Yep. We don't know.
Don't know. It's frustrating.
So I'm saying back like, okay, I'm to the point where, yeah, I'm Daniel Jones' biggest fan, but this dude look like he one hit away from never playing again.
Yep. I'm worried for him.
What the fuck? We don't Bad Dog. We don't know that, and that's what bothers me. We don't know. We don't know. We knew with Peyton Manning, he has a certain, what was it, back of his neck or something like that, something in his neck. We knew he couldn't feel his triceps, he couldn't feel his thumb or whatever the fuck. We knew it was wrong, right? We don't know. Stone Cold Steve Austin, wrestling career got cut short because of a neck. Edge, wrestling career got cut short because of a neck. Sterling Shepard, Shannon Sharp brother, career got cut short because of a neck.
Yeah.
I would much rather Daniel Jones have concussions like Tua, because with concussions, okay, you either gonna end up crazy like Antonio Brown, or you gonna not remember your kid's birthday 30 years from now. I can live with that. Daniel Jones is one hit away from being in a fucking wheelchair.
Right, I agree.
That's two different levels of severity right there.
I agree.
So to bring this,
go ahead. I'm sorry. No.
To bring this full circle to what you just said, Bad Dog, we got a draft his replacement in the draft. Whether that's the first round or the second round, Daniel Jones' heir apparent needs to be drafted in this draft, because it's not only did we fail the kid, but now we don't know what the hell is wrong with his neck. What if he Andrew Luxus and just says, screw y'all, I'm out of here, I got my money?
Right.
We don't know. We got to get his replacement. Now, Caleb Williams is out here painting his fingernails. I don't know if I want him as my quarterback. I'm sorry.
I said this to Odell Beckham. I'll say, I don't care if they paint their fingernails or toenails or chest or dye their. Throw touchdowns. I don't give a damn what you do. Just throw touchdowns. I don't care what else you do. I don't care what other weird things you do. Just win for me. I don't care what they do.
Oh, no. Listen, I said the same thing last year with Will Levis. I'm not drafting no quarterback that puts mayonnaise in his damn.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either. This guy hate mayonnaise. I wouldn't do
it. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, what are we doing here? I'm sorry.
He sucked anyway. He sucks.
Yeah. Anytime Malik Willis is starting over you know you trash.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Bad Dog, I love Daniel Jones. I felt like he could do everything. He could run. He could throw. He's big. He was in my eyes, he's the perfect prospect, and we ruined him. We never did a damn thing for this kid.
Yeah,
never. And I want your take on that. How do we replace him this all? How do we do it?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Because if we do, I mean, we won today. They're still drafting fifth. So if the Giants don't win any more games and they're drafting top 3, yeah, I think they do. I've been talking about this a while. I think they would draft his replacement. There's a number of reasons why they would do this. First and foremost, it's Joe Shane. He's going to give himself job security, because if you drafted a rookie quarterback, he's going to sit next year. Jones is here next year unless you trade him. Jones is
$47 million cap hit.
Yep, Jones is here next year. So the rookie would sit for a year. You'd have all 2024 offseason and draft to start to build around your rookie while Daniel Jones plays. And then in 2025, same thing. In essence, you'd have 2 years of offseason free agent signings and draft picks to build around your future quarterback. Because if Joe Shane, picked top 3 and did not take a quarterback, now he's hitched his star to Daniel Jones. And if Daniel Jones fails and the Giants continue to lose and he passed in that prospect and that prospect ends up being really good, Shane loses his job. If he drafts a quarterback in the top 3 and he doesn't start him until 2025, that is when the clock starts on Joe Shane. So he's given himself job security for years to come. The way they structured the Daniel Jones contract was pretty much they weren't going to pay him the franchise tag because it was $32 million and they couldn't maneuver any cap. And the Giants had no cap. So, people were like, they should have franchise tag him. Well, you wouldn't have had Saquon Barkley if that was the case because you couldn't have moved the money around. So that was the reason they didn't do that. In essence, they gave Daniel Jones 2 years. Hey, let's make sure last year wasn't a fluke. Let's see if you can improve in the system. And if you can, and it's really bad, we can get out of that contract after 2 years and get his replacement. I'm with you. I think if Daniel Jones went to a better team with better players around him, he would be a better quarterback. I don't think he can succeed here. I think it's getting to him. Now, he's very robot-like and he doesn't show his emotions. But it's going to be rough for anybody. There's no way Daniel Jones doesn't hear all the talk about he didn't deserve the money and he got overpaid. And I've been screaming about that all offseason. I'm like, there's no way he got overpaid. He's 13th in guaranteed money. He's got a mid-level contract. That's not elite money. What are we talking about here? The only guys that make less than him guaranteed are guys like Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo and all the rookies. He's in the middle of the pack. So what they did in essence was give him 2 extra years. Instead of franchise tagging him, they gave him 2 extra years and said, if this fails, we can go in another direction. We can get our own quarterback. So as far as them replacing him, if they're drafting really early, they're going to draft a quarterback. If they draft like 10th, I don't know what they do. That becomes a predicament. I don't know because it's not like they can go out and pay another quarterback. So and Tyrod Taylor's a free agent at the end of the year, and I can't see them signing him again. So I don't know if you're the Giants and you say, okay, we're moving on from Daniel Jones after 2024 regardless. We're going to go out and we're going to get a stopgap guy, whoever that is. I don't know who the quarterbacks are in free agent, unless they do. Unless maybe say, Tyrod, you're going to be a stopgap. I'll give you $10 million to play quarterback and be the stopgap guy. I don't know, Fisk. That's a predicament. That's why I'm not a GM. That's why I'm just a loudmouth idiot with a microphone and a camera on YouTube, because I don't make those decisions. I just critique those decisions. I really don't know what they do, man. I really don't.
Well, first of all, I think y'all need to hit the like button. I mean, we 240 people in here, and we ain't got 100 likes yet. So the first thing I think is y'all need to hit the like button in the chat.
All right, that needs to happen.
Now, the second thing I think is we only got one more win on the schedule, in my humble opinion.
Patriots?
No, the Raiders. Raiders. I think we beat the Raiders. I said we would beat Washington because we always do, and then we would beat the Raiders. I feel like Belichick defense will screw over Tyrod, or he always gets the best of Daniel Jones, Belichick, and then how the hell are we gonna score on the Jets next week?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Really, how the hell, baddog? We won a game today. We still only score 14 points.
Yeah.
Let's not act like. I know we won the game, but damn, it ain't like we did something convincing. Our defense was lights out. I think our defense is playing like a top 5 unit right now.
Yeah,
between what they did to Josh Allen and then what they did to Tua with the 3 turnovers a week before that. And then what they
even
did
against Seattle. Seattle didn't move the ball against us at all.
Yeah, them 2 Daniel Jones turnovers led to 14 points. So if you take away those 14 points, they only scored 10.
Mm-hmm.
So our defense has been playing like a top 5 unit since the 49er game. But you said something, bad dog, that I said earlier this week, because I did a video earlier this week about Daniel Jones replacement. And I said, if y'all don't think Joe Shane drafting a quarterback, you know nothing about football. Because this is how him and Dave will keep their job for the next 2 to 3 seasons. They have to draft a quarterback because at that point they draft Daniel Jones replacement, and no matter what the hell happens in 2024, they guarantee themselves a job in 2025.
Yep. And
That's
part.
just how this works.
Yep. It's a business.
It's a business. Now, with that being said, they got to trade Saquon. They're not going to do it because John Mara is just, I don't think John Mara has the balls to green light it. But what the hell do we need Saquon Barkley for on a team that's 2-5? Why? So y'all are going to pay him? Because, all right, so Jonathan Taylor got $14 million, right? You think Saquon's going to take the same contract, or he going to want some more money? He going to want more money than Jonathan Taylor. What do you think he's going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But I said right from the beginning, I think Saquon would be on the trading block, especially if we lost today, because we're 2-5. We're not going anywhere this year. I think that's obvious. Saquon got injured again this year. Again, freak accident. It's not like it's a soft injury.
Didn't he get injured in today's game? His shoulder or something like that got hurt today?
Yeah, elbow, whatever it was. But I'm saying he missed some games, and he had he's just had injury issues. He's really good when he's in there, but it's been hard for him to stay on the field. He's a free agent at the end of the year. He didn't want to play under the tag this year. He's 27 next year. The Giants going to franchise tag him again? Do you really think he's going to play under the tag? He already made a big fuss about playing under the tag this year. So do you tag him again next year? And then what happens? Then he's 28 at the end of that year. So if somebody wants to give him money, it's very possible the Giants could let him walk and get a compensatory pick, but you wouldn't get that till 2025. If a team like Cleveland, a team like Baltimore, if a team like that, I'm not saying Joe Shane's going to be calling guys going, yo, we're looking to trade Saquon. Like when Joe Shane says we're not actively shopping Saquon, no, of course. I agree. They're not calling teams saying, hey, you want these players. But if Baltimore calls him up and says, listen, Joe, we want Saquon. We lost our running back at the beginning of the year. We're running out there with Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. We need Saquon. Saquon and Lamar Jackson could be vicious together. We'll give you a second-round pick, and we'll give you a fifth in 2025. There's no way you turn that down. Because if you don't think Saquon is the future of the Giants, if he's not going to be a future Giant, and I'm not just talking about under the tag next year, I'm talking about for the next 3 or 4 years, somebody gives you a second rounder, you got to take him. That goes for Xavier McKinney. That goes for Leonard Williams. That goes for any guy in an expiring contract that you can get something for if you don't plan on bringing them back. So, yeah, I think Saquon is on the trading, but I would hate to see him go. I love Saquon, but it's a business. It is a business at the end of the day, and you have to do what you feel makes your team better. Joe Shane's been here for a year and a half. People want to kill him already, and I'm like, why? He took a team that he had 3 months to prepare with zero cap space and little talent, and they won a playoff game for the first time in 12 years. And because we got off to a bad start with a bunch of injuries against a bunch of elite teams with a horrendous, difficult schedule, 4 out of the first 6 games are on the road, and they're prime time games. So if you're going to kill him and want him fired because he had a bad first 6 games of the year, that's crazy. You're never going to have cohesive. No one's ever going to want to play for a team that consistently has changes in the front office. If there's no consistency here, nobody's going to want to play. So you got to stick with him. I believe in Joe Shane. I feel like they have a direction. I feel like this has just been a bad year, and we're not ready to take on the elite teams in the league. But you got to give this guy time to develop his plan. You got to give these rookies and his draft picks some time to develop. Like this, people are like, Kayvon's a bust. Kayvon's a bust. Kayvon's got 5.5 sacks. He's on pace to have 17 sacks this year. He's got more sacks than Bosa, more sacks than Parsons. And they're like, he sucks. What are we talking about? He don't suck. Deontay Banks looks good. Wandale looks good. There's Micah McFadden looks great. Got to give the man. Got to give the man. We got to give him time to get his guys in here. We have to give him time. So if he feels that it's best for the Giants to trade some of these players, I'm not going to get mad at him. I didn't get mad at Gettleman. I gave Gettleman 4 years. I'm willing to give Shane 4 years to turn this thing around.
He'd be a foolish bad dog not to trade because we're not paying Leonard Williams again. No. We're not bringing back Adoree Jackson.
Right.
Just trade those dudes. We're not Xavier McKinney. He's not getting another contract. He's been playing horrible. And as far as Saquon Barkley goes, like we don't need no $15 million running back, and we ain't competing for no damn Super. Like we don't need him. Saquon Barkley is one of them. That's a luxury player. What the Giants, what Joe Shane needs to do is start his rebuild.
Yep.
Because he didn't get a chance to do that because we won last year. Because Gettleman players came through last year. Joe Shane needs to sit down and say, okay, my quarterback neck is brittle. I need to get his replacement. I ain't giving no damn running back no $15 million and we ain't winning. So I got to get me a running back to replace Saquon. I also had to do something on the defensive line because once Leonard Williams leaves, the only one we got is Dexter Lawrence.
Yep.
And Ojulari is more brittle than Dan Kadarius Toney was. So we got to do something about him.
That guy.
I mean, shit, he makes Kadarius Toney look like freaking
Iron Man.
I'm like, damn. This dude Ojulari live in the trainer room. I'm like, yo, this is out of cut him. Because like, look, when the Giants was sucking, I said Jimmy Johnson would have cut somebody to make an example, put some fear in y'all. I said Ojulari would have out of cut him, just to put the fear of God back in the players. That's what I liked about Jimmy Johnson. When the team was losing, Jimmy Johnson would cut somebody just to set an example, put some fear in the locker room. Because I'm like the Giants. They playing like it's okay to get blown out by 2 and 3 touchdowns a week.
Yep.
I mean, we were just getting our ass beaten. I'm like, oh, so ain't nobody gonna throw a water. Where's Odell when you need him? So ain't nobody gonna throw the water cooler?
Right.
Ain't nobody gonna curse nobody out other than Brian Dable? Like, really? Where the Richard Sherman at when you need him? When he got the whole damn team in the huddle on the sideline? Like, where's the dog on the Giants? That's what I'm saying. Where's that guy? I'm not talking about the coach, people. I'm talking about that player in the locker room who holds the other players accountable. You got to answer to him, not the head coach. You got to answer to him. Where's that guy at on the Giants? It ain't Saquon. He's a nice guy. It ain't Daniel Jones. He's a nice guy. It ain't Dexter Lawrence. He a nice guy. Kayvon, he too cool for school. And besides, Kayvon is more... He's only in his second year. He ain't got the clout yet. So it's like, where are our problem childs at? We need some knuckleheads in the locker room. I think we got too many nice guys in the locker room, man. Too many.
You know, I said something like this earlier in the year, and I agree with you 100%. I'm like, we got 10 captains, no leader. I mean, where is that guy? Where is that guy that'll get in your face? You know, the one thing I'll say about Eli is he wasn't a vocal guy, but he led by example. Like, even the guys in the field don't lead by example. I think Barkley is a leader, but like you said, Barkley ain't the type of guy that's going to go up and whip you a new one and say, come on, man, not even like insulting you, but like, come on, man, get your head in the game. What are we doing? Come on, man, you got to be better than that. Let's go. Like, we need that type of guy. I don't know if we have that type of guy. So maybe they do. Maybe they do need a couple knuckleheads. I think Okereke could be that guy, but it's his first year here, so
it can't be Jihad Ward. He's not good enough. This player has to be good enough to actually get the respect. Like, it has to be one of your better players. Like, me and Bad Dog are talking about, like, I hate to go to the highest example, but yeah, like a Ray Lewis. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like that who's the best player on your team. Antonio Pierce, there we go. And Antonio Pierce, a Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
You had to answer to those guys if you didn't do your job on defense. Or in 2011, we had Antrell Roll. We had Ozzie Mayor. They were leaders.
Yep.
Brandon Jacobs on offense.
Yep. Justin Tuck.
Yeah, Justin Tuck. Like, we had dogs, man. Like, forget the coaches. Like, yo, these plays, we gonna hold you accountable. When you get to the locker room, you got to answer to us. Forget the coaches. So, like, I heard a story about Fred Warner. He cursed out the whole damn defense in practice because the offense scored. That matters.
Yep.
That's the type of player you need. Like, no, it is serious. That's Fred Warner. That's the best player. They can't say shit to him, Bad Dog. If Fred Warner curse you out because you ain't doing your job, what you gonna say to Fred Warner?
Yeah, I agree. I just don't see that guy, like I said, it's just been a weird feeling. I've not been able to put my finger on it, how the chemistry was so different last year, where these guys seemed like they loved playing for Coach Stable. They gave him everything he got. They got every ounce of talent that these guys had. You know, they got it out of them last year, and they looked like they were having fun and they were playing for one another. And this year, it's like they're 53 individuals and not a team. You know what I mean? It's like they're trying to do too much and they're concerned about what the guy next to him is doing. And as soon as you do that, you lose focus on your own assignment, and then everything becomes a jumbled mess. And that's where the confusion lies. You just have to beat the man in front of you, and you have to trust that the guy next to you is going to do his job. You can only do your own job. That's all that you can do. So you gotta trust in the teammates. And it's like this year, I don't feel like they have that trust in one another. It's strange the way it's gone this year.
Well, honestly, bad dog. That's because they thought it was nice. Like
Yeah.
the Giants team that came into this season, oh, they was cocky.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never seen a Giants team look that confident before. I mean, this Giants team was very, very cocky going into the season. They thought they shit didn't stink. And then they got humbled versus Dallas.
They did.
And then, they went to Arizona and they just thought they could show up and beat the Cardinals. And that didn't happen. And then they got embarrassed versus the 49ers. And then you get 10 days of practice for the Seahawks. And you still get embarrassed. And then you go to Miami, and I agree with Xavier McKinney after the Dolphin game. He's right. Don't blame the defense.
Right.
Blame the offense. And I'm just sitting back thinking to myself, at the end of the day, bad dog, this Giants team is a prime example of what happens when you don't know how to have nice things. You know how they say, act like you've been there before?
Yep.
That's what's wrong with the Giants. The Giants had a little bit of success, won a playoff game, and it went to their head. People started getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
They started reading their press clippings, and they just weren't hungry. They just were not hungry. There was no sense of urgency. There was nothing. The Giants got punched in the face and didn't get up versus Dallas. They got punched in the face versus the 49ers. They didn't get up. And it's because they just don't, I hate to say it, but they didn't have no heart. I mean, they lied down and took it. Week after week after week. And I just feel like what happened in Buffalo, that, that's just what happens when the offense don't turn the ball over.
Right.
Because that, we did the same thing to Seattle, did the same thing to the Dolphins, but the defense has been playing well. Just what happened when Daniel Jones got hurt is, what did they do, bad dog? They went a little bit conservative on the offense, right?
They started running the ball more.
Yeah, now they started running the ball more. They, and then on top of that, Tyrod Taylor got blocking that Daniel Jones didn't. I mean, Tyrod Taylor had some time to throw some balls that Daniel Jones just hasn't had time to do.
I don't know about today. I felt bad for Tyrod today, man. I felt bad for Justin Pugh, man. Hey, that man ain't blocking Chase Young. Chase Young got paid because of today.
I mean, that's true. I mean, granted, but here's the thing, though, bad though. 4 sacks ain't shit compared to the 11
listen,
Dallas, 10 for Seattle.
Yeah, I was so I was mad. That Seattle game. I was irate. I was pissed off, and I was pissed off because they weren't competitive, and I thought we could beat Seattle. We put up 3 points, but I was so mad at the end of the game that I swear to God, when I was watching them block, it's like they quit. Like you mentioned, they quit. I'm sitting there going, this line is just letting them go in and hit Daniel Jones, and I'm getting mad at the coach. Why are you not taking them out? You see they can't block. How many hits are you going to make a quarterback take? This game is over. Get them the hell out of the game. I was so pissed at the lack of effort by the offense, by the offensive line in that game that I blew my top. And then after that was over, I always say the Giants are like going through the 7 steps of grief. When you lose a loved one, you go through like the anger part of it, the denial part of it. Once you get past the anger, you kind of get to the depression part, which is kind of where I am now. And then after that's over, you just get the acceptance part, which is the next thing. But see, I don't get mad about their performances anymore. I just kind of accept that it's what they are. But the fact that just watching them let Seattle go in there and just hit the quarterback time and time again, it's like they weren't blocking. It's like they just stopped playing. And I'm like, you can't do that as a professional. It looks bad. And again, that falls to the coaching to me. I'm like, you can't let these guys play like that. These guys are getting paid millions of dollars. You can't. That's their job. You're a professional athlete. I understand they're human, but you have to play till the fourth quarter's over. You got to play hard till the fourth quarter's over. I don't care what the score is. Guys can get hurt like that. Guys can lose their jobs like that. I mean, I don't know. I was so mad after that Seattle game. Once that was done, I was okay. I was just like, you know what, whatever. Like I said, I moved on from the anger part of it and just went into the depression part of it. Here we go again. another bad Giant season. I'm getting too used to these. They're becoming too commonplace.
Because we had 10 days, bad dog. That's what made the Seattle one. So we had 10 freaking days to prepare for that game.
Mm-hmm.
And we still came out there unprepared.
Yeah.
And it's just like at some point, you're either coaching it or you're allowing it.
Yeah.
A lot of this falls on Brian Dable. Like, y'all could blame Daniel Jones all y'all want to, but Daniel Jones he don't coach the team. The penalties, not fighting after the first quarter. Some of the stuff that this Giants team has done this season has just been embarrassing. Like, I don't know how you felt, bad dog, but I was embarrassed on Sunday Night Football when we got smoked 40-0.
Fisk, I was embarrassed. I'd eat a big shit sandwich. I talked so much crap
Same
to the Dallas fans about how we were going to beat them and how we closed the gap on them, and to lose 40-0. I had to walk back with my tail between my legs. I had to make my videos. I had to show up on Twitter. I ain't hiding from it. I don't hide from that. I have bad takes. Lord knows I have bad takes. I don't hide from them. I don't get rid of my videos. I let people go back 4 years ago. Oh, this was a bad take. That's fine. I don't run from them. When I say things, I mean them, and I don't change. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh yeah, well, that was a bad take. I'm going to delete that. I own it. That was a rough game. I was embarrassed. I was humiliated. I was ashamed from that game, because not is it just 40-0 on national television. It's to Dallas. Like, it just everything. That was such.
Oh, and they laughed at us too. Oh
yeah,
my God, those Cowboy players were just having a
you get a sack, you get a sack, you get a sack. Yeah, pissed me off.
Speaking of that, Evan Neal, how you feel about that bum? Oh my gosh, you want to talk about a bum? And had the nerve to call us burger flippers and freaking clock punches, whatever he 95, whatever he called us. I'm like, bro, this dude out here getting beat by third string. It's like the Dallas game. All I can remember from that Dallas game is him getting beat by a third string defensive end in the third quarter. I'm like, that wasn't Parsons, that wasn't DeMarcus Lawrence. He got beat by the third stringer clean.
Yep.
Beat him clean. And I'm like, this dude is the reason we suck right now. Because at the end of the day, Andrew Thomas is going to be Andrew Thomas. JMS is doing his job. All we need is somebody on the right side to do their job, so one of the better tight ends in the league don't got to stay in the block.
Hey, Tyree Phillips was good today.
He playing better than Evan Neal.
Move Evan Neal to guard.
But that's the thing, bad dog. I don't think Joe Shane pride won't let him do it. Because if Joe Shane moves Evan Neal to guard, he's admitting that he missed on the tackle. At that point, you're admitting that you drafted a bust. If you got to move Evan Neal to guard in year 2, Joe Shane has to eat crow and admit he missed. I don't think he's going to do it.
I don't know. I'd rather just have the guy become a productive guard and just say, hey, we drafted him as a tackle, didn't work out, but we got a productive guard. We'll take it. You just want to win football games. I said for years at Eric Flowers, I screamed, move the guy to guard, move him to guard. Why don't we play him at guard? Never did.
Yeah, he went. I wouldn't let him do it.
Exactly. He went to Washington, played guard, and got paid 3 years, $30 million to play for Miami because he was a better guard. So I say that with Evan Neal. If he can't figure it out, at tackle, you might as well play him at guard instead of letting him get cooked and letting the quarterback get killed. If you're not, you might as well try and experiment and say, if you don't work here, then we just let him go. We don't pick up the 50-year option. We let him walk.
I don't think Joe Shane Pride is going to let him admit that he missed on
might not.
the 7th pick.
I don't know Joe Shane. I know Gettleman wouldn't, because Gettleman had a wicked ego. I don't know how big Shane's ego is. I don't really know much about Shane. I knew a lot about Gettleman. But one thing I'll say this. When it comes to Daniel Jones, I'll say this. There's people that love him. There's people that hate him. I understand both sides of the argument. I can go either way. I don't really care. I'm done debating this whole thing. What I will say about Daniel Jones is this. Anybody that solely blames Daniel Jones for the Giants' troubles, it is a ridiculous take to solely blame Daniel Jones. But on the flip side, anybody that absolves Jones of all blame for the fact that the offense can't score is also a ridiculous take. It is all players on that offense. It is all the coaches, the play call. It is everybody has a part in this. Nobody is absolved from blame. It is a combination of things that just do not work together. And the coaching staff is the one that needs to figure it out and figure out what does work. And that's what I've been so disappointed about when it comes to the coaching staff this season.
And that's been like everything you said, Bad Dog. That's why I've been with him. Like, people keep saying, are you a Daniel Jones fan or not? Make your mind up. No, it's called accountability. We suck because of him. We're not losing because of him. Like, yo, what's my man in Houston? CJ Stroud.
Yep.
He looks competitive when he loses. Josh Dobbs in Arizona looks competitive when he's losing.
Yep.
Daniel Jones for 4 years has looked very competitive and lost. This first 5 games that Daniel Jones played this season were an embarrassment. Some of the worst offensive football I've seen in my life. And I've watched Blake Bortles. I've watched Rex Grossman. I've watched Tim Tebow. I've seen some bad shit. But this Giants offense, Bad Dog, takes the cake.
Bad.
Horrible. And that's on Danny. Because at some point, Danny, make a damn play.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you getting paid $40 million. Make a damn play.
Like,
hey, come on, bro.
That is exactly it. That is exactly, he could get away with a year he had last year, and it could be a good year on a rookie deal. When you get paid, you need to be better. He needed to step up his game, because now it's not just, Daniel Jones is average, or Daniel Jones ain't having a good year, or Daniel Jones is making a mistake. Now it's $40 million a year Daniel Jones is doing this. When you get that second contract, now you need to step up. You can't regress. And that's what he's done. And like I said, I understand the people that want to defend him. He's a Giant. I'm going to defend all my players when I can. You see me on Twitter. I'll have takes that defend Daniel Jones. Like some guy saying everybody that plays with Daniel Jones is worse, and try to use Jalen Hyatt and Kadarius Toney as an example, saying, look at Kadarius Toney's best game against Dallas. I'm like, well, 4 catches for 80 yards were with Daniel Jones in the game. And the week before, he had 6 catches for 80 yards against New Orleans with Daniel Jones in the game. He had garbage yards against Dallas when we were getting our asses beat. And Jalen Hyatt played 77% of the snaps against Buffalo, and he'd only played 46% of the snaps the entire year after that 77%. So he probably was playing about 40%. So he wasn't even in the game. So how could Daniel Jones even get a report with Jalen Hyatt? It's things like that. I'm like, that's skewed. That's just trying to make Daniel Jones look as bad as he can. Let's tell the whole story. But at the same time, I'll sit here and say, I'm not going to sit here and go, everybody's like, well, the play call, he's different from Tyrod Taylor. I'm like, how do we know it's different? We don't know what the play call is. Maybe there is play calls for Daniel Jones to go deep and he doesn't see it, or he doesn't throw it. We don't know what's called. We can speculate all we want about, they're doing different things on offense. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. Maybe Tyrod Taylor just goes a different route than Daniel Jones because he's a different quarterback with a different skill set and a different mindset. We don't know. So again, I understand both sides of this argument, but when you're getting paid $40 million and you're not playing well, and you have 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, even if 3 of them were not his fault, that is going to be magnified 10 times easily. And then when you play in this market, it's going to be magnified 100 times because you're in New York. It's tough to play here. And like I said, they've done him no favors as far as giving him things to fit his skill set. So That's why we're in the predicament we're in right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's nice to have a like-minded individual on the stream with me because it's like I'm not ripping Daniel Jones for the losing. That would be unfair.
Right.
But you can't sit here and tell me that we can't. A $40 million quarterback shouldn't be getting us a touchdown a week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what the hell? I mean, like, for real, like, it got to a point, bad dog, where I'm watching this office and I'm like, are they trying to lose?
Yeah.
Like, are you trying to suck? Like, how? I mean, we're the only team in the bad though. We got to be the only team I've ever seen that don't just fluke in the fucking scores. And we don't get no broken plays. We don't get no missed block running for 30, 40 yards and shit. We don't get nothing.
Nope.
Nothing. I'm like, I watch teams. I bet against teams every week and say, how the fuck did they just score?
Yeah.
How that happen? Gardner Minshew out there putting up points versus how that happen? PJ Walker put up points versus the 49ers last week. How the hell that happened?
Perfect example today, Fisk. We win the game. It's over. Freaking Sam Howell throws up a prayer to nobody, just launches the ball, hits Thibodeau right in the breadbasket, gets a pick six, he drops it. I said, that's the type of crap that happens to us. We don't make the easiest plays, and we make the easiest plays hard. It's crazy how hard it is for this offense to move the ball. One thing I'm going to say, people talk about, the Giants have only scored 23 points since Tyrod Taylor's been in the game. Okay, I get it. But can't say we haven't moved the ball more consistently. We've had over 300 yards of offense the 2 games he started. I think that speaks volumes to the way the offense just seems to be. We had 6 plays of over 20 yards in the first half today. I don't know if we had 6 plays of over 20 yards the entire year going into the day today. So, again, I'm not saying Tyrod Taylor is better. He's different. And I think his skill set, at least these 2 games, seems to fit what the Giants have around him better than it does Daniel Jones. Again, you can take that for what it's worth. It's my opinion. I'm just a fan. Everybody knows me. I don't come on here, Fisk. I don't break down film. I can't do that. I don't come on here and try to analyze stuff. I'm not looking at all 22, man. I'm just, like I said, I'm just a fan. I just give you my opinion. I just go with what I see. It's all this is. I can't be that guy that looks at film and goes, oh, this should have happened, and this guy's opening. You don't know what the call was. You don't know what the blocking scheme was. How can anybody break that film down? If anybody on YouTube really could break down film, they'd be in professional football or college or some level.
Exactly. That's what I'd be something like, bro, y'all don't even. And you know what kills you the most when they break down the film, bad though? They always break down the film with 20/20 hindsight.
Of course.
They never actually dissect the play and say, okay, this is what happened on the play. He didn't have time to do this. This was his read. He did it because of this. No. They'll pause the play, draw the art, and say this is what he should have did.
Yeah.
No, you idiot. Just 300-pound dudes who run 4.3 coming at his fucking head. You think he about to sit there and just see all that shit? No. He gonna go to the line. He gonna look where the safeties are at and say, okay, it's a cover 2. It's either cover 2 or it's cover 3. If the safety stay wide, I'm hitting this dude. If the safety split, I'm hitting this dude. He's not thinking about all this dumb shit that y'all marking down on this fucking all 22 shit y'all doing. The hell is wrong with y'all?
I always like when people have this still shot and they put it on Twitter and circle a guy. Like, what the hell does that mean? You're taking a picture.
Bro, they're in a helmet running from 300-pound people who run 4.3. You think they got time to look all the way to the other side of the field and throw it to the man? Please, I hate when they do them all 22 things. I'm like, first of all, y'all don't even know the play call. That could have been a 4 read. He probably wasn't even supposed to throw over there in the first place. You don't even know that. Oh, but he's wide open. Remember last year, Bad Dog, when Kadarius Toney was wide the fuck open versus the Panthers?
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out he ran the wrong route. That's why he didn't that's why Daniel Jones didn't throw the ball, even though he was wide open. It's because he ran the wrong route.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you got people going to all 22 and say, well, Kadarius Toney's running this route. Daniel Jones says so he's wide open. No, Daniel Jones probably thought he's running another route.
Yeah.
Idiots. And then
again, I listen, people do whatever they want. I'm never going to knock anybody for the content they put out, what they do. I'm just saying I can't break down that stuff. I don't try to because again, people that do that, great. Maybe they know more. They probably do know more than me. But you just don't know. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to listen to somebody break that down that hasn't been in the NFL or doesn't know the play call. Like when Brian Baldinger does it, or Orlovsky does it. And Orlovsky hates Daniel Jones. We know that. Oh, come on, Miami. What are you doing? Get on it. Get on it. Fuck, man. They just turned the ball over and said, damn it, that was a touchdown. Sorry. Fuck Philly. I hate Philadelphia.
I'm not even watching the games. I literally got freaking The Godfather on one screen, and on the other screen I got Casino playing.
He just had Tyreek Hill wide open for a touchdown. Tyreek Hill just totally fumbled it, need it, tried to recover it in the end zone, kicked the ball around, and all this other stuff. But yeah, unless you've been in the NFL and you know what a quarterback's thinking or whatever, you've coached at that level, the collegiate level, it's hard for me to just say, oh, listen, this guy on Twitter, yeah, I'm going to take his word for it. That's why I don't even bother doing it. So, but like I said, to each their own. I'm never going to tell anybody what they call it incomplete. Never mind. And then they went for it on 4th down and 3, and they didn't get it. Ends up being the same thing. But yeah, man, it's tough for me to break down film, so I don't try to do that. But like you said, hindsight's 2020. It's easy to look at the play after the fact. Oh yeah, he could have hit him, but you don't know. Maybe that was his 4th read, and he never got to the 4th read because there was some guy breathing down his neck, or maybe he saw something on the 2nd read, and maybe he threw a bad pass, or maybe he saw something that wasn't there. We don't know. It's just really difficult to do that. And it's easy for me to sit here and go, you got to stand in there and take that. I'm not the guy getting killed. I'm sitting in the comfort of my own home watching on television. Go, you got to stand in there and let that dude drill you into the ground. So it's crazy.
Shout out to LA. I've been letting that super chat sit too long. Shout out to LA. 2 of the best in the business doing business. Yeah, man. I guess I definitely say 2 of the most opinionated.
That's a fact.
Yeah, 2 of the most opinionated. I definitely say that. Ain't no punches getting pulled when we do these videos.
Oh.
Shout out to Vicious Vigilante?
Yes.
Giants make a Super Bowl. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, we're gonna make a Super Bowl push, sure. When we get shut out versus Jets next week, I don't want to hear shit. All this Tyrod Taylor energy I got right now, thinking he better than Daniel Jones and all this others. Okay. If Daniel Jones don't play versus Jets, and you know what's so sad? We're gonna bring Daniel Jones back versus one of the best defenses in the league. He gonna look bad.
Yeah, I agree. Set him up for.
It's just he can't catch a break with us.
I guarantee you, they do it. You know what, Chris? You're right. Honestly, they should let Daniel Jones' neck heal one more week, and then let him play against Vegas. Outside of Max Crosby, I don't really think their defense is really good. So I think that's the game Daniel Jones should come back. Just for his own health, let him sit against the Jets because that defense they're gonna badass.
They're gonna kill him.
Yeah,
he has no business coming back versus the Jets. If they need to just let Tyrod do what Tyrod do for the Jets, and then bring Daniel Jones back versus like a regular opponent.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Because all they're gonna do is turn the fan base against Daniel Jones. We just got to win with Tyrod. And then you're gonna bring Daniel Jones in versus Jets defense that's coming off a bye and they're gonna be fresh. And he gonna look bad, and then everybody gonna want Tyrod. I can see it now.
I can too. Shout
out to Agent Trotsky. What up, Trotsky? This dude McFadden looked like Luke Kuechly. I mean, hey, look, McFadden has been playing great.
I love Mike McFadden.
Isaiah Simmons don't even really see the field.
He was out there today. I mean, he got the pressure at the very end. He let Howell get away from him, but he got the pressure at the very. Oh, it's intercepted! Fuck you, Jalen Hurts! Sorry, I hate Philadelphia. If anybody couldn't tell, hey, can't stand them. I like it.
Oh, wait, was it pick 6?
Pick 6.
Ha!
Ball is deflected at the line of scrimmage. I picked it off, ran into for 6. Sorry, I just hate Philadelphia. What can I tell you? I hate those sons of bitches. I hate them. But yeah, man, you're right. It's just the Jets have a really tough defense. And they're going to bring Daniel Jones back, and he's going to get beat up. And fans are going to revolt. And it is what it is.
If it ain't one thing, it's another with this Daniel Jones situation, man.
Yeah, I'm going to say something too, Fist, because I've mentioned this a couple of times. Like, that is Jalen Hurts' 8th interception this year. He just got paid $50 million a year, or whatever it was, $52 million a year. If the Eagles had the same record as the Giants, and Jalen Hurts was playing like that, that fan base would be just like ours right now. They would be toxic as shit. The reason they're not is because they're winning. If we were winning and Daniel Jones wasn't playing well, nobody would care. The losing is what causes this. That's why I said I don't care if it's Jones. I don't care if it's Tyrod. I don't care if it's DeVito. I don't care if it's Michael Penix, Caleb Williams, Drake. I just want to win football games. That's it. I don't have allegiance to players. I have allegiance to the team. I go for the name on the front of the jersey, on the side of the helmet, not the back. Players come and go. In my 40 years of watching Giants football, I've seen a lot of players come and go through here. My love for the Giants remains the same. That's just the way it is.
And to piggyback off what Bad Dog said, y'all, I had a tweet, Bad Dog, like I want to say last week. I had a tweet, right? And in that tweet, I specifically said the Yankees had one fluke season. The Knicks have done everything right for 3 seasons now. Mm-hmm. The only team I root for that is in constant fucking despair is the Giants.
It's true.
I know the Knicks about to win 45 to 50 games this year with Thibodeau and lose in the second round. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine losing in the second round because we don't have Giannis. We don't have Jason Tatum.
So they need to. They need one of those guys to go with Jalen Brunson, and they'd be not that Randall's a bad player, but he's not a superstar. The Knicks need a superstar to go with Brunson, and that team could compete for a final run.
We got to wait for Embiid to get pissed. We got the assets to get him. We just got to wait for him to get pissed.
Yeah, they get an Embiid to go Brunson. They'll be stout. They'll be ready to go.
So it's like, and that's the thing with the Knicks. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm going to get out the Knicks. I'm okay with that. The Yankees had one bad year. We all know the Yankees are going to win 95 games next season. We had the best hitter and the best pitcher in the AL, and we just sucked. Garrett Cole had an amazing year. Aaron Judge, when he was there, was fucking amazing. It was just the year from hell. Couldn't shit go right. Oh, by the way, Bad Dog, at the Dolphin game, I met Nestor Cortez.
Did you?
Yeah, I took a picture with it. It was either him or Flo Rida. I said, fuck Flo Rida. With Nestor Cortez. I damn sure took a selfie with Nestor.
Nice.
He's cool as shit, bro. I wish I knew what I looked like. If I showed my face, I would have posted it. It'd be my thumbnail on everything. If I actually showed my face, it'd be my fucking thumbnail, bro. Me and Nestor Cortez. It was fucking dope. But and I told him, shut up. I said, bro, whatever black cat, whatever witchcraft y'all had going on in the locker room last year, as from fan to player, we know y'all will bounce back next year. Don't even worry about it. He said, yeah, we felt the same way. It just what could go wrong went wrong for us. And I was like, yeah. But
it's true. There was talk about them getting Juan Soto. They better go out there and get him.
Man, you know he ain't gonna spend no damn money. What happened to Bryce Harper? What happened to Manny Machado? We don't never sign.
They should have got Bryce Harper. That still pisses me off that they let that guy they didn't sign Bryce Harper.
We don't never get players, Bad Dog. The Yankees never actually sign these fucking guys, bro. They never do. He's cheap.
They used to.
That's because the father just wanted to win. The son it's the same reason why they're not firing Boone and Cashman.
Yeah.
They just want to keep everything copacetic, business as usual, sell out the stands, and everything will be fine. Like they're like fucking Jerry Jones at this point. Yeah, Jerry Jones never fired Jason Garrett.
Of course.
And now he's not firing McCarthy. I feel like they're just too comfortable. It's like, you know what? We're gonna win. We're gonna win. We're gonna be competitive. So what? We don't win a title. I really feel like they feel like that.
Yeah. But I agree. They don't have the door. Brian Cashman thinks he's smarter than everybody else. Tries to find all these like hidden gems, man. Just go out and buy the best talent. You're the Yankees. Just go out and get the best players. What are we doing?
There's no salary cap. What the fuck are you doing? You're
I
the
agree.
Yankees.
I agree.
Salary cap. Why don't we have the best talent at all places?
Trust me, I'm harder on the Yankees than any one of my teams. I'm hard on them because I expect greatness from them. I don't really expect much from the Giants. I don't expect much from the Knicks. The Knicks have been bad for 20 years. They're finally getting out of it now. The Giants have been bad for 10, but the Yankees were always there for me. So last year pissed me off, and Brian Cash
got the most talent. You got freaking Garrett Cole. You got Aaron Judge. Like we went out and got that bum from freaking San Francisco who sucked this year.
Yeah, Rodon. He was terrible.
Rodon, he was horrible. I'm just like, the Yankees are the one team we root for, bad dog, where it's like, yeah, we can get this title.
Exactly.
We actually expect the title from them. And they just went into the damn. I'm getting mad again. Freaking, I'm sitting here watching this Astro team, and that's the thing. You know what? Yeah, no. This applies to the Giants as well. The Astros. Where's our intangibles? That's what I like about the Astros. I'm like, what? The Yankees do not have those winner intangibles that the Astros have. Like the Giants just don't have those winner intangibles that the Eagles have. I hate to say it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just certain intangibles that you need to be a winning franchise. And I just feel like the Yankees don't have it. The Giants don't have it. I believe the Knicks have it. They just don't have the talent to actually,
win.
Like
they don't have the talent to beat Boston. Or I could not agree with you more. Intangibles, I say it all the time. Statistics tell half the stories. There's a lot of things that don't show up in the box score that matter, and those are your intangibles. They really are. Derek Jeter had those intangibles. Those Yankee championships.
Eli Manning had those intangibles.
Right. It's a guy in second base with nobody out and a weak ground ball to the right side to get him a third with one out. That's a ground ball in the box score. Nobody looks at it and goes, oh, that was good, because you don't see that was a productive out. You just see 0 for 1. That's an intangible. And then the next guy hits a sacrifice fly. Those are your little intangibles. Those things, hitting the cutoff man or whatever, not false starting on 3rd and 1. Those things are intangibles. And you're right. Neither one of those teams have it. That's why we don't win. Little things matter. The little things add up.
Shout out to Nino Raw. Yes, sir. Butterknife Jr. Bobby Dub. Who the hell is Dubby Dub? What the I don't know who the hell that is. The only W I know play Madden. I don't know what y'all, you know what I'm saying? But like, all right, so let me ask you another question, bad dog. Now, we're in a situation with the Giants where how do I say this? At some point, bad dog, when do the Giants say, this isn't our year? Daniel Jones, your neck is trash. Sit your ass down. Saquon, you want to get paid, you brittle as hell. Sit your ass down. At what point do we mail it in? If we mail it in,
I think this week against the Jets, I think that's the one, because the trade deadline is Halloween. So this is the last game for. I think if we're 2-6, and Joe Shane decides, all right, this ain't it. We have to get some pieces. We only have 6 draft picks in the next draft. We got to accrue some draft picks. I think the Jets game tells us a lot about where we're going in the season. I really do. I think 2-6 is kind of like, okay, they're not going to win out. They've had a lot of injuries. If they beat the Jets and they get healthy, then it's tough to say. But I think right now, Fisk, I think that you'll know when they mail it in. If they trade off players, I think they know they've mailed it in, and they're looking forward towards next year. That's the way I look at it. I think this week against the Jets that's it. We win this game. I think going forward, they might try to win, saying, all right, we're going to get Neal back. We're going to get Andrew Thomas back. We're going to get Daniel Jones back. We're going to start to get healthy, win a couple games, play the Raiders, who's a team we could beat. Maybe they ride it out. But if they lose to the Jets and they go 2-6, and they play Daniel Jones and he gets hurt again or gets sacked 9 times, then they might say, all right, let's blow this up and start over. I think this Jets game is it, honestly.
And I don't think we're gonna beat them. How? We can't. We scored 14 points on sorry ass Washington. We scored
Well,
14
again,
points.
it's 14 points, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but Goodell missed a field goal. Should have been 17, and Barkley fumbled at the 7. So I get that. And again, there's your intangibles, Fisk. There's your intangibles we talked about, right? Same thing with Tyrod Taylor checking to a run, on the goal line. And I'll be honest, the last play of the game, number one, that was pass interference. I mean, everybody saw that. But if you're going to run the ball, it's an untimed down, so time does not matter. That's where you probably want to give Barkley the ball. Is there? Give it to your best player.
And that's the thing, like we last year, I feel like we did everything right. Like last year, we did in the clutch. We always made the right play. We never had the penalties. We just did the right shit last year.
Correct. The little things.
This year, I don't know. Like I said, man, I think last year went to our heads. Well, went to their heads. I'm not on the fucking team. I think it went to their heads. And I think that they thought they arrived and they're the super elite team and they're ready to compete with this team and that team. And they've been humbled.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what this comes down to, fellas. The Giants got humbled because they thought shit was going to be sweet. Oh, yeah, we won 9 games. And that's without Darren Waller and Paris Campbell and Jalen Hyatt and all this stuff. I just think that they thought shit was sweet.
Yep. I know I did. I did. I was flying a horse. Just go around. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say because like the roster was good, bad dog. I really like the roster.
You know what I like? I like Jalen Hyatt. I want Jalen Hyatt to start. I freaking love Jalen Hyatt. I've been on board. I was so happy when you picked Jalen Hyatt, man. I'm like, just let this kid eat, please. He cooked Sauce Gardner in the preseason. Can we get him more snaps? And in the last 2 weeks, we've seen them stretch the field with this kid. And he's made some incredible catches. The catch he made today was incredible. The catch he made when they called it ineligible downfield was incredible. They were talking about, he can only run one route. He ain't got no hands. He ain't got this. Man, that kid can play. Let's get him the ball. He's exciting. He gets behind defenders, man. He's got moves. You can't catch him. He's got speed. He's got Tyreek Hill speed. Let's get him the ball. Play him more. And they have played him more the last couple of weeks. And guess what? Our offense moves the ball, but we ain't scoring still, but the offense moves the ball better. At least we look like an NFL offense, somewhat.
Which is a blessing unto itself because for most of this season, we looked like we couldn't beat a high school team the way we was lining up on offense. I mean, that shit was just...
That Seattle game was really I expected to lose to San Francisco. I wasn't expecting to beat them, and losing to Dallas, I could have lived with it if it was 27-24, not 40. That Seattle game pissed me off. That made me so mad. We should have beat them. They're not good. We should have. To give them 11 sacks or whatever. It's just stupid. That game still makes me mad. We win that game. We win the game in Buffalo. We're 4-3. It's just amazing. If we could have got 1 yard at the end of the game against Buffalo, we win. We're 3-4. It's not even as bad because then you're looking at the Jets and you're looking at the Raiders and you're saying maybe we get to 5-4. Seattle game sucked, and that was bad. Yeah, Miami, I didn't expect to beat Miami either. Miami's good.
The Buffalo game sucked too because this dude Saquon wants $15 million a year. Just do it again. Just give it to him again. Run a different run play. Mm-hmm. You get a free play from the heavens because they don't normally call that on a home team, bad dog. For the Giants to get that call in Buffalo to give them an untimed down.
Yep.
At that point, just give the ball to the best player on the field. Call a power, get him a lead block, throw a toss, do something. But this should have been a creative. What about, remember Bad Dog last year we used to have a wildcat with Saquon in the red zone?
Yep.
Why we ain't call that shit? Direct snap to Saquon. Why we ain't call, There's so many different things we could have did on the 1 yard line on that untimed down to beat Buffalo. But instead, we want to throw a fucking jump ball.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro.
Well, like I said, I mean, if you're going to run the ball on the goal line, you do it on that play because the clock doesn't matter. You got one play to get in the end zone. So,
and let Saquon hurdle over the line. He could hurdle over the line like it's 1 yard. Your best player is your running back. How the fuck do you not give him the ball?
Yeah, I don't know. It was play calling was bad. Play calling's been an issue all year. It's about the controversy about who's calling the plays. Is it Kafka? Is it Dable? I think Kafka's going after this year. I honestly think Kafka's going. I think Dable's just going to take over the play calling. That's my.
He's definitely taking over play calling duties next year. But he's doing it now, bad though. So when I was at the Dolphin game, I zoomed in on Dable for like 5 minutes. He's definitely talking into that microphone, looking at the play sheet, marking stuff. I think he's been calling play about 3 weeks now.
He definitely could be. Definitely could be. I mean, if I'm not at the game, I can't see what he's doing, but it wouldn't surprise me.
And then this week, he takes over all the offensive meetings this week. I mean, I was just saying, and now we won too. So the week Brian Dable takes over the offensive meetings and stuff is the week we get a win versus Washington.
Yeah,
I don't think Cap gonna go be calling plays anytime soon.
No, Kafka might take the job at Northwestern. I don't think Kafka's going to be here next year. Wink is going to be here. Wink ain't going anywhere. I think Wink is good, and you know, I think that Dable can, like, Wink doesn't need help. Like, Dable doesn't need Wink's been in the league long enough. Like, he don't need help. Like, he'll oversee stuff, but he can trust Wink. Like, Kafka is just a second-year OC, so it's a little bit different when you're the quarterback's coach of Pat Mahomes. You don't really need a coach, as opposed to coaching a team that has, calling plays for a team that does not have Pat Mahomes under center and has a really bad offensive line, and doesn't have a Travis Kelce to throw the ball to. So, I don't know. It's been a frustrating.
I feel like Bad Dog, they're going to do what they always do. They're going to win late and fuck our pickup.
They could.
They are, Bad Dog. Sometime around end of November, early December, Giants going to win like 3 straight games. And then everybody's going to be like, where was this in September? No, this is what they do, bro. Yeah. I think my season outlook, Bad Dog, as much as we complain about this team, Bad Dog, and we bitched about this team for 90 minutes, I'm telling you, they're going to look amazing. As there's going to be a stretch this season where they're going to look amazing, and we're going to low key be mad about it because we're going to be like, "What the fuck was this shit the first half of the season?" Watch.
Yeah, it does. It's definitely
healthy. Jay and Mass, the offensive line. Watch, and we're going to say, "Where the fuck was that when we needed it?" Watch.
The only thing I can say, we have like the second toughest or the toughest schedule for the rest of the year. So who knows? We've got the Eagles twice. We ain't beating the Eagles. We ain't beating the Cowboys. I don't think we're beating the Rams. I forgot who the hell else we play. We might beat Green Bay. Green Bay's not very good. I don't know, man. They're in a weird predicament here. It's a weird spot to be in.
Yeah, because we paid all these fucking players and we still suck. That's the thing. We paid a lot of our good players and we still suck. So if you're Joe Shane, you're like, there's only so much I can rebuild because I paid up most of these players. So next year, the team ain't going to look so much different.
No, I think it will. We have a lot of expiring contracts. They have a lot more cap space. I mean, they signed 2 guys that are going to be staples. They signed Andrew Thomas. He's going to be here. They signed Dexter Lawrence. But you got to look at all the players. McKinney is a free agent. Leo is a free agent. Saquon is a free agent. Paris Campbell's a free agent. Slayton's not a free agent, but if they cut him, they save $6 million. He's $7.75 million against the cap. If they cut him, he's only $1 million cap or $1.75 million dead cap. So you save $6 million. I think I mentioned Paris Campbell. Shepard, he's on a 1-year deal. A'Shawn Robinson's on a 1-year deal. So there's a lot of guys that can be turned over on this roster, and they're going to have like 50 million, 55 million in cap space next year. So I mentioned this like on Twitter. I think you're going to see the end of an era where the Gettleman guys now are are starting to become. Azeez Ojulari's under contract, but you don't expect him to be around much longer either. You're going to see these Gettleman guys start to, fall out, and you're going to start to see Joe Schoen bring his own guys in here. So I definitely think next year will be a transitional period, just for the simple fact that, and they're not going to sign all these guys. Joe Schoen's going to want to go out and get his own guys. So it'll be interesting. I don't know what they're going to do with Barkley. Barkley is the interesting thing, but I love Shepard. I'm an Oklahoma fan, man. I love Shepard, but he ain't going to be here. And Slayton's really good, but I don't know if Slayton's I don't know if he's $8 million. You know what I mean? So
we should have let him go. We should have let him go to Atlanta where he wanted to go.
I think they're going to let him go. I think at the end of the year he's going. I do.
But I do too. I think Joe Schoen's going to turn a lot of the roster over. The question is, does he do it at the trade deadline or does he wait?
Yeah, I think the game against the Jets will tell us a lot. I really do. I think at 3-5 with the Raiders on deck in 7 wild card teams, or not 7. I'm sorry, 7 playoff teams in the NFC. Maybe they ride it out. If they lose, I think he's going to mail it in. But we'll see. I don't know. One thing I can say about Joe Schoen is he ain't afraid to pull the trigger on a trade. You know what I mean? So
who you think? Who you think? Let me out of curiosity, who do you think is traded first? Leo, Adoree, or McKinney?
That's tough. I think it would depend on who. Like Leonard Williams in Miami makes a lot of sense to me. Miami, they could use some. We all know how great their offense is, but I think they could use some pressure. Some stuff in the middle. I think Leo is definitely an asset for somebody. I think McKinney would be a really good pickup for somebody as well. But to me, if they're going to trade, I think Leonard would be maybe a Dory Jackson. I think now that we got 2 rookies, excuse me, they got not that Cordell Flott's a rookie, but they got Flott out there as a pick last year. Deonte Banks has been awesome. And Trey Hawkins looked really good at the beginning of the year. He's obviously had some issues. But I do think that Adoree Jackson could be the guy that would be going first if somebody wanted him, because I think he's become expendable. They kind of put him in the nickel because they're playing other guys. I could definitely see that happen. I could see him be the first one to go because somebody could definitely use a cornerback. It's a valuable position, more valuable than a defensive tackle. I think a corner is very, especially a seasoned corner like Adoree. So I could definitely see him being traded.
Now, Saquon, I know the odds are slim to none that he gets traded, but just in case, I want your thoughts on how do you feel about Saquon's career with the Giants so far?
I think it's been disappointing in the fact that it just hasn't been healthy. I think when you saw a healthy Saquon Barkley, we all know how explosive he is, how talented he is. There's no questioning the man's talent, but the best ability is availability, and he's dealt with a lot of injuries, a lot of fluke injuries, getting tackled wrong, stepping on a guy's ankle after the play was over. He had a torn ACL. It's just that was a terrible throw to him. What are you doing? So I don't know, man. When Barkley was healthy last year, we were a playoff team. He's very, 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 very valuable to our offense. But you don't build around a running back. You certainly don't build around a running back that's 27 years old and has had an injury history. Like you said earlier, running back, the position of running back isn't valuable like it used to be. It's just not. It's a passing league now. Quarterbacks have taken a lot of the touchdowns away from running backs. You see them quarterback sneak. You see this brotherly shove or whatever the hell they call this thing, the tush push, the cheek sneak. I don't know.
Fuck that shit up.
But
only we can fuck that shit up.
Yeah, that's true. Because our line sucks. But I do
that shit with ease.
Going to the days of the guys that get like 30 carries. Derrick Henry's an anomaly. There's not a lot of backs are split. You got A-Chain got hurt, but you got A-Chain and Mostert in Miami. They're both killing it. You had Pollard and Zeke in Dallas. They're just not valued the way they used to be. And running backs prime is usually over by the time they're 27, 28 years old. I'm not saying Barkley's would be, but He's definitely going to be on the downside of his career. He's had a lot of injuries. There's a lot of mileage on that legs. Again, if the Giants don't feel he's in the future and not just, like beyond, I should say, if they don't feel he's in their future beyond next season, there's no reason to hang on to this guy. There's no reason to bring him back for one more year next year and then not sign him in 2025. There'd be no reason to hang on to him.
Balls, bro. Even if Joe Shane did what you said, bad dog, and went and said it's time to move on, I don't think Mara moves on from Saquon.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maris really seems like one, because we always pay our own players. How often do we let any good player of ours hit the market?
Right. It's true. They're pretty loyal to their guys. Sometimes they're too loyal to their guys.
Agreed. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna do a hot take. I think Saquon will finish the season, but he won't finish the off season with the Giants.
Yeah, that could very well be.
There's no way in hell he's playing under a tag again. And there's also no way in hell we're going to give him $15 million and we're picking in the top 5 of the draft.
Agreed.
So
I don't see how they can do that.
They're cutting their nose to spite their face by not trading him.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be more trouble than he's worth in the offseason, because you can't justify paying Saquon Barkley this money and we don't have a winning record. Because at that point, what does Saquon do, bad dog? They say Saquon's a team, right? Ain't that what they always say? Is Saquon's the team? He's the whole offense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it weren't for Tyrod, we don't win today. Saquon didn't do nothing special today. 75 yards. That's not special.
Touchdown. No, he had a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, he did, but he didn't do anything that made me believe that we were going to win the game because of him.
Right. Well, again, the Giants' offense isn't good. Like you mentioned earlier, it's a luxury position. That's a luxury position. You don't need a running back that can. It's nice to have that guy, but the Eagles got in a suit. Like those teams, the Eagles don't have. Miles Sanders isn't a superstar. They just have a good offensive line. They got a good running game. You don't need a good running back. You need a good running game. So in order to have a good running game, instead of putting the money into the running back, I'd rather put the money into the people in front of the running back and in front of the quarterback, and that's your offensive line. That's where the money needs to be put, not in the backfield, in the line. And everybody that complains about the offensive line, the Giants got to get an offensive line, got to fix the offensive line. Well, it's going to be harder to fix the offensive line if you're giving Saquon Barkley $14 million a year, because you're just giving money to the running back. You're taking money away from the line. So it can't be both ways. We got to make our decision. Is what's more important, protecting the quarterback, opening up holes for the running back, or having a superstar running back with a line that can't open up holes for him? You know what I mean? Barkley needs help. He's great, but he's going to need the lineman to block. How many times have we seen Fisk, Saquon Barkley, you're blown up in the backfield for -2?
Saw like 5 times a day.
Yeah.
But that's my point, though, bad dog. So you brought up a valid point. I'm sorry, Derrick Henry is splitting carries right now, right?
Is he? I don't know. I never watched the Titans.
Well, I follow fantasy football, so yeah, he's been splitting carries in Tennessee, and we just saw in not Arizona, but I lost my train of thought. But yeah, Zach Moss, that's the guy. Okay, you just saw Zach Moss fill in for Jonathan Taylor and not miss a beat.
Mm-hmm.
He's been playing so good that they still got Zach Moss getting half the workload.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, at some point, running backs are expendable. Like, can we stop acting like the running back is the reason we can't run the ball? You see this in Indianapolis. When Jonathan Taylor is suspended, they plug in Zach Moss and they get it done. Why? Because they have an offensive line.
Yep.
When you have an offensive line and you have an actual system, a run scheme, it'll be successful. That's why these freaking Kyle Shanahan spinoffs can go other places and have success, because they have a system. It's all geared towards running the ball, and they're dedicated to running the ball. Brian Dable and Kafka, bad dog, they don't want to run the ball.
No, they panic a lot of times.
Yes, like we don't need a $15 million running back when all y'all really want to do is throw the damn ball anyway. If when we fix the offensive line, will we even run the ball with Saquon, bad dog, or is Brian Dable and they're going to be dialing up the bombs? If we
Yeah.
actually had like a good offensive line, do you think we'd still use Saquon anyway?
Yeah, they panic and get away from the run. Like even in the second half, Fisk, I was saying that, I felt like the Giants started throwing the ball a lot more in the second half, and you saw the offense stall. You have to run the ball. Especially with Barkley back there. What the hell is the point of having him if you're not going to use him?
That's my
Run
point.
the ball. But the other thing is I'll say about Barkley, I think Barkley's great. He's one of my favorite Giants. Okay. How many games have we won with Saquon Barkley? What's our record with Saquon Barkley? What have we won with Saquon Barkley? Like what have we won? I believe today is only, I could be wrong about this. I think it's only the second time in Barkley's career he has won a game or been on the winning side of a football game when Daniel Jones wasn't the quarterback. So that's my point. It just, again, he's great. He's one of my favorite guys, but how much does he really mean in the grand scheme of winning football games for the Giants? If
But
you're
that's
putting
why
money into the backfield, you can't put it into the line. And if you can't block, I don't care who the running back is. He's not going to be successful.
But that's the thing, Bad Dog. Here's the deal. He came out and said he's the Derrick Henry of this team. He's the Christian McCaffrey of his team. That's what he came out and said in the offseason, right?
Mm-hmm.
How about Daniel Jones miss another month? And I just want to see how many wins that Saquon carry us to. Because when Daniel Jones hurt his neck 2 years ago, Saquon Barkley was in the backfield for the QB sneaks on third down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Galladay was out there. Tony was out there. Everett Ingram was out there. Everybody was out there except for Daniel Jones. And we got resorted to QB sneaks.
Yep.
So
And
at
they
some
were
point,
0-6.
when does Saquon ever contributed to us winning? When have we ever just had a stretch, Bad Dog, where it's like, yo, Saquon carried us for like the past month, bro? Like,
I think last year he did. I think last year was a big Saquon Barkley year. But again, you have to be aware of guys that have these big years in the free agent year. You know what I mean?
I'll put it to you this way, right? This is the best way I could sum it up. If this was the NBA, Bad Dog, will we be having this conversation?
Mm-hmm.
The Giants will be selling off, they will be trading off their good players for expiring contracts and tanking to get lottery picks, right or wrong?
Oh, yeah, without
If
question.
this was the NBA, the Giants, there's no doubt in my mind that Saquon would get traded, Leo, McKinney, Adoree, the Giants will be getting rid of all their good players and taking back picks and expiring contracts with it, right or wrong?
Yeah, without question.
The NFL seems to be the only sport where you get criticized for not doing that. But in baseball, you sell off prospects to get better ones. In basketball, you tank for lottery picks. All I'm trying to say is, if you know you're not gonna win, do what you gotta do. Period. That's where I'm at with it. We've had 6 years to Saquon because last year was the 5th year option. So Saquon been on here for 6 years, Bad Dog. And the fact that we're even having this conversation is why he needs to be traded.
Yeah. I mean, again, we haven't won. We won a playoff game, but again, he hasn't been healthy, and that
was
hurts.
Daniel Jones' playoff win, though.
No, I
That
know. I'm
was
saying, but we
Saquon's
don't get to the playoffs without Saquon. I mean, Saquon was a big part of it, but Saquon, maybe I think the ACL injury hurt him a lot because as good as he was last year, his rookie season, Fisk, he was superhuman. Like that man was explosive. Like that guy, first step, quickness, juke, agile, everything was incredible. I haven't seen it. He's still explosive, but not like he was that rookie year. Not like he was before that ACL injury. It's just it's a different Saquon. He does not have the elusiveness and the agility and just that absolute burst. In 2018, like I said, he was superhuman. He's still really, I mean, he's elite. I think he has an elite skill set, but man, I'm telling you, his rookie season, I've never seen anything like that. He ain't been that guy since he torn his ACL.
not even close. And that's the thing. Torn ACLs, shoulder issues and shit. It's just like every time he fall, you hold your breath too. So now we
Yep.
got a back who we gonna hold our breath if he fall. We already hold our breath when the running back fall. Thank God
Yeah.
Shepard ain't part of the offense no more because we used to hold our breath for that shit.
Yep.
At the end of the day, bad dog, I'm gonna get you out of here on this. What's your final prediction for the season?
That's tough. There's definitely a couple more wins in there. Um, I think this Jets game tells us everything, man. I really do. I know we're going to beat the Jets. It's going to be an ugly game. I mean, I think that could be 16-13 one way or the other. Neither one of them offenses is good. Both defenses are good. I mean, I think the Giants win 5 games, if I'm being honest. I can see them beating the Patriots. I can see them beating the Raiders. Yeah, I mean, they could probably beat the Packers. I mean, a lot of things. Again, health is going to depend. If Barkley goes out again or Andrew Thomas is out, I mean, could be more losses. But you mentioned it. You said we always screw up our draft pick. I can see them winning 5 games and drafting 9th or 10th. That's what I could see happening.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen too. 5 or 6 wins. We upset New Orleans. Green Bay, the quarterback's too young. Wink Martindale sends the crib at him a couple times. Yeah, we might get the 5. I originally said 3, but we won today. See, my whole thing is this. We don't know if Saquon's going to be healthy. We don't know if Daniel Jones is going to be healthy. All bets are off if Danny doesn't come back or he gets hurt again. All bets are off. At that point, bad dog, if something else happens to Daniel Jones, it doesn't matter what record we are, where we pick, they're drafting this replacement.
Yeah, you're probably right. They probably do have to do that if he gets hurt again. The other thing, if we lose to the Jets and they trade off players, that obviously could definitely change the prediction too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Barkley here and you're running with Breida and Gray. I mean, you really could win 3 games all year.
Because at some point, players are going to throw in the towel, whether the coaches like it or not. If they trade off Leo and Adoree and McKinney, I think that's when you start to see not the tanking, but at that point now we're the Cardinals. We'll show up for 2-3 quarters and quit.
Yep.
But all in all, bad dog, it's been nice to have you on the channel, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Listen, y'all, I will see y'all tomorrow with a video. Real quick, because everybody thinks that Tyrod is better than Daniel Jones. Can you please tell these people that Tyrod don't do a damn thing better than Daniel Jones? They had like Daniel Jones in that 700 rushing yards last year.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm not going to say Tyrod is better. I'll say Tyrod is different. The biggest issue I think people have, and why they'll say Tyrod is quote unquote better, because Tyrod is not a massive fall off from Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones is getting $40 million, and Tyrod Taylor is the backup. I think that is the hang up, is that our offense really doesn't look any different. And honestly, the last 2 games, like I said, it's looked more balanced. But again, I don't think Tyrod Taylor is a better quarterback. If he was a better quarterback than Daniel Jones, he'd be starting for somebody. You know what I mean? He would be a starter someplace. Somebody would call and go, yo, we don't want Baker Mayfield. We want Tyrod. What do you give us for Tyrod? You know what I mean? So I won't say he's better than Daniel Jones. He's different than Daniel Jones.
I never looked at it that way, though. The drop off isn't as significant as it should be. I didn't look at it that way.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just salary. That has a lot to do with it. Is I think people are like, well, listen, you got a guy for $7 million, and the offense does pretty much the same thing. So that doesn't look good for Daniel Jones. Like, I mean, that's an attribute to how good Tyrod Taylor is, because you look at 2021 Fisk, their drop off from Daniel Jones to Jake Fromm and Mike Glennon was astronomical. Like, we had no prayer. They couldn't run an NFL offense. Tyrod can. But that's the thing. You got a journeyman backup quarterback who's 35 years old, and he runs the offense as good as the guy that's getting paid $40 million. That's where the fan base is having a problem. And it's hard to blame them.
Well said. I agree. Yeah. So with that being said, Bad Dog, you want to plug anything or anything?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I appreciate you having me on. Most people know me. If you don't, I'm Bad Dog Sports on YouTube. I'm at Mr. Bad Dog 7676 on Twitter. And Fisk, it's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate you having me on the channel. It's always good chopping it up with you, man. Always good conversations, my man.
Yeah, like I said, unfortunately, fellas, Bad Dog and we don't disagree on much with this team lately. You know, back in the days, we used to duke it out over Daniel Jones, but
And I'll tell you, Fisk, the Daniel Jones debate we had before last season, that's still one of my favorite streams. That was such a good back and forth, because we were on polar opposite ends of the spectrum there. And
oh yeah, that
there was a
great.
lot of respect. Like I said, we didn't talk over one another, we respected each other's opinions, even though we completely disagreed. That's one of my favorite streams I've done. That was good. That's why I like chopping it up with you, man.
It was weird because I chopped up the video, like our debate, like before the season started, and put it on my channel, and I had to listen to the whole thing to do that, and I was like, yo, this is some good shit. I was like, we really had a good show. Oh, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. So I can't let you get out of here without a Laker question. Are you better than the Nuggets? What's up with the Lakers? Are you better than the Nuggets? Because y'all been talking a lot of shit about the Nuggets, bro. Y'all been talking a lot of shit about the Nuggets this all season. Are you better than the Nuggets?
So, well, as far as like the Lakers stuff goes, I just announce the games. Like I follow what they do, but I don't like listen to all the stuff. And I don't do Laker videos or anything. But the Nuggets talked a lot of crap last year. The Nuggets were doing a lot of talking about the Lakers. It'll be interesting. They play the Nuggets to start the season, on Tuesday. So it'll be interesting. The Lakers, I think, got way better. They're very deep. There's no question. Adding a guy like Torian Prince was huge. Getting some bigs in the middle like Jackson Hayes. I loved Jackson Hayes. Adding Christian Wood. They got some bigs now to go with Anthony Davis. So you literally could play Davis at the 4 and play a guy like Christian Wood at the 5 because you have spacing because Christian Wood can shoot. LeBron is LeBron. They brought Austin Reeves back. I think Max Christie will take a step forward this year. D'Angelo Russell can ball. I think the Lakers got a really good team this year, and if they stay healthy, they should compete. I don't know if they're better than the Nuggets, but they're pretty damn close.
Okay. I feel the opposite. I feel like Anthony Davis is old brittle bone ass. He's inconsistent. And my thing, I used to always say, yo, if Anthony Davis could just stay healthy, he'd be top 5. No. The whole Anthony Davis, I'm good every other game shit was fucking shameful in the playoffs.
Inconsistent. He was very inconsistent. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like I have no faith in the Lakers. None. 0. I don't trust Anthony Davis as far as I can throw him. I'm sorry.
It's understandable. He's listen. He was playing at an MVP level, then he hurt his ankle, missed a bunch of weeks. It happens with him. He's again the best ability is availability, and it's hard. And that's another guy. Like when Anthony Davis falls down, Laker fans are gasping. Is he okay? Because every time he falls down, you worry he got hurt. So
and then they resigned him. Why did they give him all that money? Like, oh
he's only 30. I mean, that's the thing. And when LeBron's gone, it's going to be Anthony Davis's team. So
shit.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
But yeah, I appreciate you, Bad Dog. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you too, bro. Like I said, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Good stream. Good show, man.
Most definitely. I will see y'all later. Y'all make sure y'all go check out Bad Dog, and I'll see y'all tomorrow with another video.